time to break the tie. I'll live, I'll die for what is wrong and what is right. I'll take the pain for all the ones without a name. To be invincible, we'll be invincible. To be invincible, we'll be
Hey guys, welcome to Two Guys in Hockey Talk. It's good to have you back with us for yet another last season finale for Wednesday nights. In fact, Pavel doesn't even know this. We're not running our show next Wednesday following the free agent day. We are going to run it on the end of free agent day. He doesn't even know. So hopefully he can join us because I didn't even prep him for this. So, hey, Leanne, how you doing? Welcome, man. So awesome to have you back, Leanne. Well, my partner, how are you doing today? This is draft day right now.
I'm excited. I've got the draft going live here. I've got Jordan, a friend of the show, here at my place. We're having a few brewskis.
Woo!
So cheers to you watching the draft. And I've been really off the board with my picks, although Jordan's been on point. And I've been enjoying it because there hasn't been any trades, but there's been some very intriguing picks. And I'm sure we're going to get into it. How are you doing, Evan?
Okay. I'm doing fabulous. I've been catching it right up to anyone following on Twitter. So you can follow us at Revenev or at hockey_2. Thank you for following our buddy Hockey2 over there with our main account as he's finally doing his work on Twitter and tweeting. That's all it took, buddy. People like to follow people who actually tweet. Not that are a twit, but like to tweet.
I thought people hate tweeting birds in the morning.
Well, hey, we got a lot to cover tonight. We had originally planned for our guest, Seacoast Hockey. So, Jared, if you're catching this, sorry, buddy. We're not going to be able to rebook you for the season. This is our second to last show. The last one's only free agency. We're going to talk about everything that's happened in the NHL or happening going into next season. So we're not going to be able to bring you up to date onto that. Guys, we are booked for our guests. Our season five will start September 5th after the Labor Day weekend in Canada. So that means right now we have no available spots for all of September, all of October. We are jam booked with first-time guests. That's amazing. And I just want to thank everybody out there. So before we go in, update everybody on the draft, why don't we go ahead and talk about some of our special partners?
Thank you. So remember that we are here every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We are sponsored with Sporting Empire, the sports empire, who do all your content for all your sporting needs. NBA, MLB, whatever you need. They've got a WWE show now. It's been phenomenal. The guys over there, Key, Freddie, we love them. They're doing amazing work. Gene, one of the new guys I got to connect with recently, amazing. So thank you. And JR Web Designs, who do our website. Go check it out. We try to get their articles on a weekly basis. We do a lot of work through them. And if you are looking for a web designer, they are the best. Go check them out. Go give them a follow. They're amazing.
Awesome. And I also like to give a quick shout out to Penny Billionaires. So guys, our opening song and also the song that we conclude, our theme song, is by Penny Billionaires out of Phoenix, Arizona. By the way, we're going to talk about Phoenix tonight. They're at the draft doing some crazy stuff tonight. You're going to let's just say, there's a big but that has been put into the plans for Phoenix here tonight. But anyway, Penny Billionaires, electronic hard rock infused band, excellent couple of guys. You got to be able to give Evan and Greg a follow them out. Go onto our social media. So I just like to mention, if you go over to JR Web Designs that put our site together, you can see our social media platforms. You can find Penny Billionaires there. You can also find us on Spotify and Amazon Music. But if you go right there, we have it already connected to Spotify through the Sports Empire Network with all theirs and all of our former guests. I do want to say really exciting. Before we go onto the boards here and jump into the draft and kind of follow tonight with what's going on for the NHL, I'm going to be taking a clip it and sending it to our former guest, Jamie Baskow, friend of the show. Not only does he like the things that we play for our intro music, but do you recall I gave them a quote? I see them drafting Bedard or Mishkov, and somehow, man, at 7, they got Mishkov tonight. But I digress. I'm going to save that clip because that's a clip that Flyer fans, man, you got to follow us. We seem to know it all. We got the crystal ball for you.
All I want to say is Arizona seems to be drafting the wrong type of rush. It's not to say that the players that they picked aren't going to be good, but it's just interesting that they're not picking Michkov. But I digress. Go ahead, Evan.
All right. Well, why don't we go ahead and give a follow? Do you want to start us off with our top 5, and they'll take us through the next 5?
Well, let's state the obvious. Connor Bedard, to no one's surprise that he was going to be a Chicago Blackhawk. Side note, I don't know if people saw it. It's a great video on Twitter. Go check it out. Kyle Davidson was interviewed by a street reporter, and he did this kind of quick, like, few-minute questions about things, but he didn't realize he was interviewing Kyle Davidson.
Let's take a break. We're going right live to the floor.
Right. Before making our selection, I'd like to thank all the Red Wing fans back in Detroit at Little Caesars Arena who are watching the draft live. We really appreciate your support.
Let's see who they're going to grab.
With the 17th pick, the Red Wings select from Philadelphia, Sweden, of the SHL, Axel Senden Pelika.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good choice. Yeah.
Guys, I'm going to shut the sound off. You can kind of follow what's going on. If you're following the draft tonight, you can follow right here with us live at the same time. So, wow. I don't know how, I don't see that as it. You're just saying it's a good choice because you trusted Yzerman, man. You can't tell me that.
I trust the Yzerman plan. Nobody had Moritz Seider last year, and look how he turned out.
I agree. But did you actually know anything about this player? Like, this player was more ranked in the 25 to 30 range.
He was.
So,
I thought he was going to go somewhere else. I honestly thought
he goes off the charts. He goes off the charts. Good for him. I was glad he grabbed Nate Danielson, who I had at 15 in my Revs top 15. By the way, guys, if you want to see the players I have on our site, my Revs top 15 is not a mock draft. It's based on who I think will have the best careers, the top 15. And then once it gets past the top 15, as I always say, it's a little bit more of a crapshoot for the bottom half.
Now, Evan, can you remind me your list that you presented to the fans so they recall? It wasn't where they're going to go in the draft. It's where they're going to end up in their careers. Is that correct?
Correct. So I'll throw it up here. So what I've done is I've said not in the next 5 years, but where I see they'll finish their career at. So, for example, when I say Mishkov at 2, it wasn't meaning I thought he would go at 2. It's meaning that's who I think will have the second best career from this draft class. So you'll notice I have Nate Danielson in here. He went to Detroit a little bit earlier. Now I had Ryan Leonard, of course, Yager. You'll notice behind me, Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh got the second best steal. The first best steal was Mishkov to Flyers. Yager is an incredible player. I'm sure Dubas was excited. Dvorsky I had, Smith, Benson. Benson falling. Let's talk about that in a minute. But Leo Carlson, oh man, I've been kind of shocked with what's happened tonight. I want you to go back through and walk us through some of the guys that are actually up there then that have got picked here tonight.
For Connor Bedard,
after Connor,
we get it, generational potential talent. He's gonna wow people. Chicago's excited. They have a franchise player. They just traded for Taylor Hall to give him a winger. Next on the list, Anaheim kind of went off the rails and said Leo Carlson. Now, it wasn't a complete
no,
180, but they've already got so many centers down the wing, unless they're expecting Zegras to move to the wing, right? So we're going to see what happens there. But between Leo Carlson and Adam Fantilli, it was kind of one or the other. It was like flip and switch. But Columbus gets an elite player. Both guys look really strong, deep. They're going to play, contribute to the team. Will they be ready to play? Most likely. I'm looking forward to it. Again, they could use centers. Now,
you know what I wonder? I actually wondered when that happened. Were they feeling Leo Carlson was more ready to go? Because Fantilli had talked about, like, it's a high possibility he goes back to Michigan for another year, right? So
it's possible. Yeah,
they have quite a few players, and I can see them saying we want to move.
Anaheim is still in a rebuild, so they have time. They can let
Do they?
Carlson develop if they want. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They finished
Yeah.
dead last this year. I think they have time.
Well,
They're rebuilding.
Yeah, but I don't think they have
Columbus is
two,
on
3
the
years to
clock.
wait.
As an insider told me, Jarmo Kekalainen is on the line. He is because he could lose his job. They're supposed to be playoff ready, right?
Wow.
They signed Johnny Gaudreau. They made some moves on the blue end. Potentially, Mike Babcock is going to sign this Saturday when he's a free agent for 2 years, $8 million. You're hearing it here. And, you know, they want to be competitive. Patrick Laine hopefully has a healthy career. You know, we'll see what happens in Columbus, but they want to compete for the playoffs. And I know last year went off the rails.
I don't know if you just Whoa, I just realized my mic's way over here and I'm trying to talk and scream. Hey, I just noticed Yzerman with a huge smile on his face in the video corner here.
Yzerman smiling? That must be an alternate universe.
Oh, man. Okay, go ahead.
So, getting into the fourth one, San Jose. What are your thoughts on Will Smith, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? I mean, Will Smith, the player.
Yeah. So I think this was pretty much the prediction all the way through. Everyone thought Will Smith was going. They kind of telecasted this one. They wanted a centerman. He was the type of gritty player. He has skill. He's very much one probably outside of the top three. He was really the next best center that you were going to get. The only thing is there were people thinking, could they take Mishkov, saying because he is the most skilled player. In fact, some people believe he could be more skilled even than Connor Bedard as far as pure natural skill. It's like Lemieux versus Gretzky. The difference with Bedard is his hockey IQ with that skill and that shot, right? But yeah, I thought that was a safe pick. I thought that's where it was going to be. By the way, let's go back to the floor here. It looks like Winnipeg's ready to make a pick here. Looks like Winnipeg's ready to make a pick.
Can we just talk about Chevy stealing that trade?
Velarde, really good player.
We got a pick coming in.
Year. I like what they were able to do with an asset that didn't want to be there anymore in Pierre-Luc Dubois.
All right, well, let's get to down to the stage. Again, it's the Winnipeg Jets. They're
only
first-round pick, number 18 overall. Remember, they lost to the Vegas Golden Knights in 5 games in the first round, looking to bounce back quickly. We'll see what they have at it.
On behalf of the Winnipeg Jets, I'd like to thank the city of Nashville for tremendous events. Love to congratulate David Poyle for a tremendous career. Thank you very much for all your mentorship. I also like to say hello to all our fans back at Canada Life Center at our draft barbecue.
Woo!
Winnipeg Jets are proud to select from Owen Sound of the OHL, Colby Barlow.
There we go. That's a good pick. That's a good pick. That's a good pick.
The latest pick and a member now of the Winnipeg.
That makes total sense to me. That I see that as an excellent pick for them. Let me just refresh here to make sure that we're ready and we're back on here.
And they've got some more decisions coming up. It sounds like Blake Wheeler is going to be bought out most likely by the end of the week, so keep an eye out for that. And Mark Scheifele may be moved. So there's some
whoa! I missed this today. What have you heard about Wheeler getting bought out?
It looks like he's going to be bought out at some point this week.
Why don't you find a team that will take him and give him something for it? Okay.
For that cap space, that's a lot. Who's going to have that cap space? People would rather take on Carlson if they can take half.
Absolutely.
If San Jose even takes on 30%. But anyways, I digress.
Okay, so let me get let's get to the comments box. Connect with everyone. So we got Zilstra. Hey Zil, you're in. It says Ellie. Let me throw that up there. Where are you coming to tonight? Nevada. I'm coming out of Nevada. Right on. Okay. Hey. Thank you so much, Leanne. All right. Who else we got? Oh, we got Key. Key living it up. What's up, Key? Mishkov is in Philly. Mishkov is good. I got to tell you, Mishkov could be a good flyer because Mishkov can play a little dirty in those corners too.
Are you saying, Evan, are you saying that Daniel Briere took a flyer on Mishkov?
Yeah, yes, I am. Oh, man. Okay, who else we got? We got Kyle, man. Kyle, Thanks for supporting us, man. We haven't got to Boston yet, but Boston is coming up. Are they coming up?
I don't know if Kyle heard, but Milan Lucic is heading back to Boston for 1 year, probably $900K.
That's what we're hearing. That's That's crazy. Welcome.
Hey, Jordan.
What's going on?
Jordan, how you doing, boss? It's great to see you.
Hey, Jordan.
Jordan's a hell
You
of
can
a
say
guy.
hi. Jordan, say hi to Jordan, who's sitting watching on his
there's two
headset.
Jordans. Jordan
in the
2.0.
same room. Yeah. All right. Where we go here? We got Zill saying Carlson's committed to another year. Yes, Carlson is committed, but they can get out of that if it's a discussion, because the KHL, there's no contract that's existing. They don't even have to honor the KHL contract, even though they will.
Michkov signed for a few more years too.
Yeah. But the Michkov, you cannot get out of the KHL contract, but you can get out of
Jamie Basco right now for that pick.
Yeah.
He was hoping and praying, Jamie.
Okay, yeah. And so we got Key coming in saying the Flyers take a defenseman at 22. Well, the problem is the defenseman got swept up really quick. So I don't know, unless I wonder if they drop down on that pick is what I'm wondering in that case here. All right, Saijun. Hey, man. What's up? Nice to see ya. Nick, awesome to have you in with us today, man. Cheers. Freddie. Oh, man. Freddie's a man. I'm just trying to give you guys all some attention. Oh, man.
That's a Freddie fact.
Yeah, that's a Freddie fact. Exactly.
All right, so moving.
Okay, hang on. I want to give these guys some love tonight here. We got to give them some love. Oh, we got famous people for tonight's guests. So many. Yeah, we got the guests all in from the live show coming in. So, listen to this. Jordan, that's sitting in your house. He says Barlow, future captain of the. Well, I don't know if to be captain of the Jets, Jordan.
I was gonna tell Jordan that he could pretend to come into the camera view and say he's lost because he thought he was in Nashville with the jersey and think he's looking for the stage for where he can draft somebody.
And yes, you heard that Lucic that left those years. It's not the same Lucic. And last thing I'm just going to bring attention to, Zill says Chicago deserves Hall. I don't know what that means. I think that's a little poke at the whole Chicago organization fiasco. But Bedard, point per game rookie season. I'm with you. All right, guys, I'll come back to some of your comments a little bit later. Just so you guys know, I might just quickly jump in or stop what I'm saying if I see that something's happening down below. So I'm going to leave it in the picture screen. You guys can see the draft. If something's coming up, then what we'll do is we'll zip over to that right away. All right. Next player, who did they go to tonight? Let's come back down. We were talking about Montreal.
So let's go to Montreal.
What the heck?
The defenseman. Interesting choice. Him and Simichov were probably the first two defensemen to go, one of the two, but Reinbacher's a little bit bigger. It was interesting for Montreal because I thought they were going to trade. I really did. Yeah, I thought they were going to trade that pick. I know there's been rumblings, but it's an interesting pick. I know they need more D because they've got Caton Gooley coming through. Xavier Arbo is really, stepping up, and they're going to need some bodies on the back end there. I feel kind of bad for Carey Price for mispronouncing a name. I felt like Evan was on stage there.
What? I'm the last. No, okay, hang on. No, if I mispronounce the name, he didn't mispronounce it. He couldn't say it. I mispronounce it. I just roll with it and act like I know what I'm doing.
Behind your shoulder for help. You have to look to me for help. So that's how it works.
You know what? I felt embarrassed for him.
So Jordan's predicting that Moore's the next pick for Chicago Blackhawks. Your thoughts, Evan?
I'm just kind of looking through it. When I was going, I was just kind of looking. Who was it I was actually thinking of? I was wondering if we might be actually looking at Cal Ritchie or Perreault. That's where talking about Chicago here. Did Perreault get picked? I missed it when we came on the air.
Okay.
Did Perreault get picked? Where did Perreault get picked?
Well, they took Moore. Or no, he did not get picked.
Okay, so this is why we know that Pavel knows absolutely nothing about hockey. He's saying people get picked when they're not picked. Jeez, next thing you know, he's going to say,
words are very
Evan.
small for my eyes. I can't see. I'm looking
That's
at this
yeah,
list that you
yeah,
got.
I know. Oh, you called it. They just called it, and we didn't even give it attention.
Jordan called it on the show. He's been watching live. He knows.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Well, that doesn't mean he actually knew. You're acting like they're telling him on the show.
He put it
picked
on the
up.
comments. He put it there.
No. You said he's watching the show. That's why he knows. It's not because he's watching the show. It has nothing to do with that. He picked it and called it. I know that. But your comment was, it's like he was watching the NHL draft, and that's how he knew.
What?
I said, because you said he's watching the show, so he knows.
All right, we're getting off track here. We're
you get things mixed up every week, man.
Let's
I don't
get
know
to
what's
the
going
next
on.
pick. So, the Capitals, Ryan Leonard. What are your thoughts, Evan, on this?
They picked up an incredible player. He could have easily have gone to the San Jose Sharks, and I am shocked that he did not get actually picked up by Montreal. That's who I thought Montreal was going to take at that spot if they were not going to take Mishkov. And I did not think they're taking Mishkov because they weren't looking for smaller players still. They need to build up in size. They have a few, but they need to build around Suzuki and Caulfield. So,
now, tell me about what Arizona did and why they're planning to move to Utah with this team.
Move to Utah?
That's where the next, because they're not going to stay there forever. Come on.
Okay, yeah, I know. Yeah, Utah is where it seems to be the commissioner's office's best friends there, right? Good on more, man.
Utah Jazz.
Yeah.
All right.
So
your thoughts on why they didn't take Utah?
It's because they got way too many people. They talked about it on Sportsnet tonight. They have way too many draft picks between now and the next 2 years, and they cannot have everybody coming in at the same time with all these draft picks. They got to layer these people out. They got people like Logan Cooley going to be coming in probably next year. They got Dylan Gunther entering in this year, and they got to look at contracts. They're not caring about where they're going to be playing. So I think that, however, why would you not? This is where I think a franchise that's sad just stays sad, because I feel like they have a habit of doing this. You couldn't have traded down like 5 picks and even for a prospect in your system or something. It's like they didn't want more, so they didn't take it, and they just went with whatever was out there, right? Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to advertise for Sportsnet. They don't pay us. Okay. So, Jordan, you think that Seattle is going to either take Pro or Brindley? Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. We'll go with that. Sounds good. All right, let's go back to the board. After that, we came over to Detroit. Why do you think they took Nate Danielson? What's going on there with
they needed a center. They needed a deep center, as I was told by an insider. Right-handed center who can play kind of a Danault style player. They've taken a bunch of defensemen in the past few years, so they needed someone there. And Yzerman was very happy to play it. And I think he played for the Winnipeg Ice and now the Washington Ice, if I recall. No.
Yeah.
Moose Jaw?
Who did?
Moose Jaw, sorry.
Just so everyone knows that Pavel has a little devil in his ear. Or an angel. It's an angel.
Kings. Sorry, Brandon Wheat Kings. There's so many things to remember. But anyways, as you know, Kelly McCrimmon, famous, who just won the Stanley Cup. Big Brandon Wheat King guy. But anyways, they needed a center.
He owned it.
Middle of the pack kind of guy.
He was the owner. He's a big fan. Yep.
No, I said big part of the guy. But he's a big fan of those players because he brought a lot of them to play in Vegas. Come on.
It sounded like he said he's a big part of the guy.
I did say it's a bit. This has been a long day.
Okay, guys, just so you know, we're not saying whether we have or have not had a few things to drink. That's all I'm saying. Normally, we would be having, in years past, being from Western Canada, where the Oilers for years were drafting really early. We had draft parties all the time, and we filled
worry
up
about
on everything
Edmonton.
else.
They didn't do anything this draft. They had no draft, and not until the second round. Hey, Lazarian, what's up? How you doing?
Woo-hoo! Hey, welcome, guys. Hey, guys, just just throw it out there again to everybody just to say thanks for joining us. Some of you I know are joining in tonight over at the Sports Empire Network, guys. Thanks for joining in. You can catch us also on Spotify. If you're with Two Guys in Hockey Talk, you're not familiar with Sports Empire Network, they are our partners that we work together. We're over their hockey feed on the other side. So I think we got something else coming up. We're going back.
Doesn't work with me,
Yeah.
she says, but I've got a feeling that is about to change.
Yeah, that's a good way to get business when they see how he can fly up and down the ice. Seattle is on the board, and what a season for Ron Francis's Kraken, right? A 40-point improvement, guys. It's hard to have a 40-point improvement. Then they knock off the defending champs in the first round of the postseason. An incredible run for them, and now they're going to be picking at 20. So let's get back down onto the stage, and Ron Francis ready for the Kraken's first pick at number 20 of the draft.
Seattle Kraken is proud to select from Cometa Brno, Edouard Chalet.
Wow. Another
That was former NHLer Robert Cron, the director of scouting, made pick, not Ron Francis.
Evan, are you paying attention to the names? You got to learn how to say them properly.
And he played at the World Juniors, guys. What can you tell us about this right winger and his upside being selected 20th overall?
He's a guy who compares himself.
That's a crazy one over there. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, let's go back up. Nate Danielson. We go over to St. Louis. Dvorsky. I expected that he was going to go early. Yeah, tell us how did you think that was a good pick for them? Safe pick or?
I thought he was going to go actually higher. I was surprised he dropped as low as he did. He's going to be a solid pick years to come. I think he's got a lot of potential upside.
Yeah. And just so you guys know, if you actually head over to our website, again, thanks. I just want to throw a shout out there to JR Web Designs for all your web design. Excellent company, really good prices. And they built our website here at Two Guys in Hockey Talk. So you can follow our blogs. So go to the top, get the latest from our blogs. And one of the things that I put in there, at least for some of the draft picks I was putting in there, I even have a highlight package you can kind of see from some YouTube clips in addition to some different things about him. And I had Dvorsky in there, and I got to tell you that I purposely just tried to list some players for you guys to be able to get a better feel, because not everyone's always as familiar with some of these players. Dvorsky, great. I like his two-way game, but I like that he's ready to play. And I think that that's where it's going to be a great pick now for them coming in. So, okay. So we go from Dvorsky and we move over to the Canucks, which shocked me.
They love their Swedes. They love their Swedes.
Well, do you think it might have something to do with Patrick Elvin?
Patrick Elvin?
Yeah, I'm trying to say it with the accent.
Or do you think it has to do with the Sedins?
I really don't know. I think they're worried. Their defensemen are really hard to find. And I think
they take longer to develop. They really do. They take like 4 to 5 years to really get settled in.
I expected them to move faster because they're like, I didn't think they were going to be patient with this rebuild, but maybe this is showing us they're willing to wait a year.
Vancouver doesn't believe, or management.
Well, then why are you drafting Willander? Because he's not coming over for a couple. Like, you got at least 2 years away from using this guy. They have to be patient. To me, they're showing they're patient.
I don't know I think they're retooling on the fly. Why would they buy out what's it called? Oliver Ekman-Larsson. They're shopping for a top 4 defenseman right now. They're looking at names like Dumba. Keep an eye out for that.
Dumba. All right, guys. Zill, you're saying that they needed a big D man.
They've always needed a defenseman. That's always been a thing for Vancouver.
That's true, right? They've so it was a different one. Okay, so we talked about how Arizona went off the map when they picked earlier, but then they stepped back up again after 6 at number 12, and they go off the map. Now, this next player, there was no two buts about this. They know who they wanted.
This was an interesting choice. I don't know why they would go with this, but I mean, time will tell. But yeah,
believe I can't quite my eyes deceive me a bit here. I think they're saying he's 6'5", something along that line. But what they do like, yeah, I think it's saying that, guys. You'll have to be able to come in 6'5", yeah. It's saying that. I mean, that's a huge player. But they like his game, and I get they like his game. But at number 12, do you know what? I still think that you pick the best players and you trade them. You trade them for other players if you got too many at the same time. Enough of this crap of trying to say who you get later. Man, I got to tell you, I was excited coming into this draft for Arizona. The people they traded, you start looking at how they got those picks and who they gave up for them. So you're saying you gave up Jacob Chikrin for Butt?
No.
I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it. I get it.
Got the dad jokes tonight all night long. I don't know. It's interesting for Arizona because, again, there's so much questions up in the air about their arena, what's going to happen. It is a great city, but, like, what is happening with their arena? But what is happening with the arena? Right? So,
all right.
And it sounds like
hockey.
Commissioner Gordon is going to make a decision by
play with your local high school. You can
mid-season.
So I'm sorry, I'm cutting you off and you don't read the message. As they're coming up.
I was finishing my thoughts.
the private programs, you have to move away.
I didn't want to miss it.
Minnesota does it right. Hopefully they can keep it that way.
And a little bit of pressure there as well. They haven't won a playoff series since 2015. Billy Guerin's not afraid to shake things up. We've seen a lot of moves he has made since he's taken over as GM. So let's hear from the four-time Cup.
First of all, I'd like to congratulate David Poyle on an amazing career. David, thank you for your friendship. Like Kyle said, being a mentor to so many general managers out there, we appreciate everything you've done for us in the game. Also, a great thank you to the city of Nashville, especially Tootsie's for keeping this entire group well hydrated and entertained.
Good luck, Aaron.
Minnesota Wild, proudly select from the University of Wisconsin, Charlie Stramel.
Oh, did you get that?
Yeah.
Was that Mr. Scramble?
Yeah.
Charlie
Stramel is from Rosemount, Minnesota. So they take the local kid who just played at Wisconsin.
Wow.
Okay, local kid.
Oh man,
this is where, like, by this point, I'm lost as to who's going where.
Yeah, well, hey, I focus on the top 15 for a reason. No, generally I follow the top 20, 25. In the last little bit, you know.
One. I can usually get the first one.
Oh, come on. You do the top 3.
Fine. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let me get over to Jordan wanted to bring up a point here. He was just saying the Oilers drafted Broberg knowing the team was going to be good in a couple. You're right. You just have a good feeling on some players and snag them before your team is good. Jordan, I hear you, but I would really question that pick because I still didn't think that was the right pick, and I still don't think it's the right pick. I don't think
Why not?
I still do not think
for assets later on.
Yeah, let's see what they're going to be able to move him for. I think his top end is a number 4. Top end is a number 4. He's not a top pairing guy. Maybe a number 4.
Do you see the stats on this kid, by the way, Evan? 6'3", 222 pounds at age 18.
Who are we talking about right now?
Stramel, that the Minnesota Wild just picked. Charlie Stramel.
Oh, sorry. Let me pull this up. Pull it back up there on the.
That's a big.
Oh wow. Boy. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Already, he's already that. Man, that guy's gonna crush a few people, eh?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That big bodies there in Minnesota.
That makes great sense, right? You know, for what you're talking about.
Minnesota has a really good and healthy prospect pool, so they're just kind of picking the best available player. And Zilker says, do you think Eisman is playing chess with Bedard by picking Nate?
No, I don't think so. Okay, and of course, Jordan says Drama was projected as second rounder. Yes, absolutely. I think that was very much a stretch. I was quite confused as to that pick. So, okay, let's move ourselves back into this here. Where were we? We got to Nylander. We hit on.
We were after Boots. So
Buffalo.
We are on Buffalo. Zach Benson. Excellent pick.
Now, wouldn't you be excited as a Buffalo fan with all the elite skill? Now, I frankly have him ranked number 5 overall for having the best career. This guy is aggressive. If you've ever saw him play for the Winnipeg Ice, and like even his growth curve up to that point, for those that do not know, he plays with Matthew Savoy, who was also drafted the year before by Buffalo. They're going to be line mates again.
Well, they were
probably at some
together.
time. Yeah, this last 2 years. Except that Benson was much younger last year, so coming in. So I mean, man, Buffalo, they must have been licking their chops to run up. When I saw them going up there, I saw another kick in their step on the way up.
Buffalo has a really good prospect pool, and their fans should be excited because they have a lot to look forward to. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're one of the teams that makes a push for a wild card playoff spot next year.
Yeah. Oh,
That's how good they are.
absolutely.
You've got
Absolutely.
Owen Powers and Rasmus Sandin on the back end there. Their only question is goaltending. What does your goaltending look like?
Well, who knows, right?
Yeah. Speaking of random things,
So-
did you see the Timo Meier trade or signing?
Okay. Yeah, let's talk about a few things before we get back to this. I'm going to say it, and I'll say it again. 0.67 points per game. The guy is not a 40-goal scorer. What the heck are you doing? 8.8 million. I know he built size around the small guys in Heischer and Hughes, but man, I don't know how everyone is excited about this deal. I think this is a terrible deal. The biggest and the highest paid player on that team right now. Not a good deal. I think it's going to backfire. It's going to backfire.
Their top six is right now, all of them,
Okay,
making under 10 million.
What does that guy do? We're talking about Meyer. What does
His
Timo
qualifying
Meier?
offer was 10 million.
I don't care what his qualifying is. What does that guy do for the next 8 years that's worth 8.8?
Put up points with that team with Jack.
Well, how-
He puts up the goals.
Point
He has
0.67.
playmakers. T-shirts.
0.67.
On a terrible San Jose team. On a terrible San Jose team.
And then he came over to an excellent Jersey team, couldn't even do
Small
anything in the
sample
playoffs.
size. Small
Then he
sample
also
size.
couldn't do anything end of the year. He scored the same in Jersey.
Small sample size.
Oh, so
I
okay.
disagree.
Hang on. You said he has a large sample size in San Jose. So
Yeah.
what you're saying is he has a large sample size in San Jose, but don't go by those low points because he was in New Jersey. But hang on, don't count his New Jersey points because it's too small a sample size. Then why the heck do you give a guy a contract if you didn't have a right sample size? That's bogus. No way you go off that.
I disagree. He has had.
Oh, let's bring it back on. We got Spit coming.
HL Oliver Bunk.
There we go. There's gone. Blanc. So for people that are not as familiar, I'm going to bring it up right now.
Big hugs all around.
So Oliver Bunk, if you guys remember, the Ottawa Senators drafted Radek Bunk. Now I cannot recall. I believe this is his son. Oh yeah, Jordan, you just put it in too. This is his son that is playing. He is a really good player, but I actually thought that I actually saw him just a little further down, but he's really close. I saw him more around 24, 25 in there. So that's a good call. Okay, so before we go back to the other the trade, do you want to say something on Meyer since I ended the last piece? Are you good?
No, I'm just saying you're wrong, and I love telling you you're wrong. He had in 21 games 9 goals and 5 assists and 14 points. If you're saying that that's bad, that's and in 57 games,
$8.8 million. Yes, that's not good. That's what 0.72. Yes, not good. Not good.
I disagree.
Okay. Well, you seem to disagree a lot.
Well,
That's
with
okay.
you, it's a natural thing.
Oh.
It's second nature.
Zilstra says they need Meyer because they got to protect Toffoli now. Okay, do you want to talk about that before we get to the next?
Yeah, Toffoli got traded for a third, and Sharon Govich there, and Sharon Govich re-signed for a 2-year, $3.1 million there in Calgary. But good for Toffoli. Now, granted, he had a career year this year, and he was probably the best Calgary Flame forward. But to round out that top 6, I like that top 6, and they could potentially compete with Rangers and Carolina for top of Central. That's how good they are.
So
their
Calgary,
goaltending is my only question for the Devils. But I think that top six, you got Heischer, you got Hughes, you got Meyer, and now you got Toffoli coming in. And who?
Number 2
So-
overall last year, Nemec.
Oh, and Nemec is coming in as well.
I gotta love how you got it's like you're sitting there and all your insiders are on the
That's
outside.
how it works. Don't ask me about my sources.
Okay, so
I like New Jersey's doing. I know Ray's not on tonight, but I'm
Yeah.
sure Ray is probably excited.
Yeah. Well, Ray, you might be listening a little later. Throw it in the comments, even if you're watching this show later on. I'm sure you're catching the draft right now, seeing what the Devils are doing tonight. Hey, just before we go back and let's go and talk about Pittsburgh's draft here tonight, let's go back to the Toffoli, though. What about Calgary? What do you think on Calgary? What was Conroy doing? Do you think this was they re-signed Shegovich? Was that how you said his name?
Yeah. Sharangovich.
Yeah.
Yegor Sharangovich. Sharangovich.
Too many beers. Okay.
Too many
All right.
beers
So
or beers. You gotta
both.
specify. So
Both.
I like Sharangovich for what he brings to the team. He is a grinder. Like I said, he signed a 2-year, $3.1 million thing. He had, I think, 25 to 30 points. There you go, Jordan saying too many beers. He had like 25 to 30 points. He can get up to 20 goals. Playing probably on their second or third line.
Okay.
He can. He is a center, but again, he's a grinder. He's a worker, and I think Huska's gonna like him because he's gonna really put in the work. So
hey, do you see the picture? Look on board.
I
There's
do like the
Radek Bonk
picture.
and
I
his
do.
son Oliver.
I do
Man,
like them all.
they look alike, eh? Oh
They
my
do.
goodness. Okay. So I just want to say that Conroy, I think that what we're seeing is a retooling. They're trying to find bigger. They want bigger guys, and they're moving out some of the older guys to play with a few of the longer-term contracts they have in the older guys. That's the best that I can see coming out of that. And I would like to say that some people, I've been thinking that Lindholm will be looking in the $10 million. The answer that I'm hearing is no, it won't be in the $10 million, that you're probably looking somewhere between 8.8 and 9.3, 9.4 is kind of the range. On an 8-year is what he's wanting. So we'll see. But the answer is not no to Calgary yet. It's what's Conroy going to do, and is he going to step up on that? So everyone thinks it's going to be decided if that contract's going to happen. It's going to happen before free agent frenzy on July 1st. So I just want to mention that. Okay.
I hate
so,
agreeing with you, but agreed.
So let's go to the next. The Penguins brought up, and you'll notice behind me. So Brendan Yeager, man, I love this player. I love this guy. You got to watch the way he lets that puck go off of his stick. He's a center, which you got to remember they need to so give him a couple years to develop there and start coming in. I could see them bringing him in as a third line center. Maybe not this year for sure. I can't see him making it, but the following year, very possibly, right? All right. Let's get back up and let's hear what they're saying.
The New York Rangers are proud to select from the U.S. under-18 team, Gabriel Perreault.
There you go.
Good
there
job.
You go.
Good work.
Well, that
far.
good for them, though. The Rangers need a good player.
Gabriel Perreault joining his father now as an NHLer. His brother Jacob was also drafted by Anaheim back in 2020, and his sister.
That's so awesome, man. Good to hear that for him. So, what are you thinking on Pittsburgh's part? Do you think that they're looking at developing, retooling, rebuilding? Where do you think they're going?
For which team?
Like for Pittsburgh, what do you think is going to happen there? Like, just let's go off the side for a moment.
Retool while you have Crosby, Malkin, Letang for those big contracts with 4 years left on all of them. They're looking at potentially moving out Jeff Petrie, my lookalike, and I'm sure there'll be some suitors. But I think they're going to retool because they're going to compete. And again, Pittsburgh barely made the playoffs. Had Chicago not won that one game or beat that one game or beat them in that
barely
one game.
Barely missed them. Yeah.
Yeah, so I can honestly say that Pittsburgh did not try to come back. My one big question, and again, a lot of these teams, what is their goaltending? What is Casey DeSmith and Tristan Jarry? What are you doing? Because you're fine up front. You just traded for Riley Smith for a third. What are you going to do? And Kyle Dubas is going to do whatever it can to keep that team competitive while building up stock in their draft. Go ahead.
So just a side note. So I just put up earlier today a little bit of a preview around the 2023 NHL draft here, guys. If you want to go take a read over at twoguysinhockeytalk.com. In there, though, I talked about players today are not going to be drafted. They were hoping today, they're going to move back to tomorrow. So I gave a list of players that are overage players that did not get drafted last year that are open again. Now, none of them have got drafted in the first round yet. Chances are it's going to be between rounds 2 and 5, usually, if that happens. But let me just mention right now, though, I also have players, and I listed a whole bunch of them, who went undrafted, and mini goalies especially, and I have current and also older ones. And someone, Casey DeSmith, he did not get drafted. He was signed as a free agent, much like a lot of other people like Bobrovsky. Not many people knew Sergei Bobrovsky was not drafted into the NHL. So that was something interesting, right? Okay, so we got a question here. Are my Bolts in line for a draft pick?
I thought they were like 28th or 29th, I think, the Bolts. Aren't they?
Let's.
Oh no, they traded
no.
Tanner Jeannot trade.
Yeah, no. That's the question that they were asking. Because
they traded away, and they haven't re-signed Tanner Jeannot, and they gave up a lot for that player to Nashville. So Nashville.
I'm just looking who they could trade with. I don't see Nashville.
I thought this is the Tampa Bay.
Nashville's coming up right away, right?
But I thought this is the Tanner Jeannot trade because this is the first round pick that Tampa Bay traded away.
Yeah, I believe it is. It is. If we go on.
15th.
So what are you saying, Jordan? They could have an all French line.
It's the Oilers pick. It's the Oilers pick. It's the Oilers pick.
Oh yes, yeah. Okay, no, so this is where. All right, so if you are an Edmonton Oilers fan, Bolts have Montreal's second pick in the first. Okay, excellent. Thanks, Zill. So Zill just gave us an update here. Bolts have Montreal's second round pick in the first. See, that's why it takes a team of us here to make this happen. I don't know how the heck they would actually run this stuff if you're actually trying to do everything, right? Unless you spend hours and hours of time. Okay, so having said that, right now, if you are an Edmonton Oilers fan and you traded your pick this year for Ekholm, so you got Matthias Ekholm. Let's see who is available. So when we're looking in here and we're trying to see who's been picked and who hasn't been picked, who do you see, right? That's what we want to do. So let's bring it back on. And as soon as it's ready to go, we're going to go live to see who the Oilers might have picked, even though they probably would have picked somebody else. So, Zell, we know they're in the second round, but this is their pick that they actually traded. Oh, you're saying, second pick in the second round. I knew what you meant, Zell. I understood that. So, okay. Coming back on here now. So let's pull back down. Let's go to what was the next pick that we had after Yager? Okay. Nashville. Wood.
Matthew Wood.
Oh. Well, I guess they're coming up. Why don't we go right to the draft table, to the stage, and let's kind of see what they say is happening.
They are for the second time so far in this first round. Matthew Wood taking in 15. And they're approaching the stage. We have a little bit of time to at least speculate on what's going to happen here. But one thing, Chuck, really quickly.
Who do we think that they're taking? Do you guys have an idea?
Ooh, I'm lost. Gavin Brindley.
Yeah.
That's my pick.
Hey, did Cristall go yet? Andrew Cristall?
No, he hasn't. He hasn't gone yet.
Man, okay, I see.
Is that a challenge? The GMs, come on, get busy, do something.
Absolutely. Let's post it up.
We can just
get Kid and Price. So
we'll see what the National Predators have to say with their second pick in the first round at number 24.
Trotz is the man.
I don't know what's happening. It's freezing up on me.
first round, our captain, Roman Yossi, and legendary goaltender, Pekka Rinne. What you got?
I love it.
Yossi's been tanning.
2023 draft. Nashville is proud to select Tanner Molendyke from Saskatchewan. Welcome to Nashville, Tanner.
Oh, they have got to get hockey players and get the hockey players to quit calling out other hockey player names. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I thought it was going to say Tanner.
I was going to go, they just traded him. Okay. Oh my. Okay.
Back to it. So
that's
Nashville.
another one. Oh man, they're really hitting up there, aren't they?
Matthew Wood. So University of
Connecticut. I have Tanner going like middle second round. That one was crazy. Okay, so Matthew Wood, that was their earlier pick list. So let's just touch on both picks that they've taken. So I think that they went with the safe pick here, but do you notice a trend? They're going with the big guys. They're really trying to build their team big with what they obviously look who they got on stage: Roman Yossi and Pekka Rinne.
Yeah, both big boys. Yeah, and both elite players for that franchise, right? So
one still plays, and one is got a statue already, which
agreed.
I disagree
and
with.
actually a fairly good job on that statue, I'm going to say. So looks like Jordan and I are going to have to make our way down to Smashville City and check out the stadium there.
Oh, I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to say you're going to have to go to Nashville so that you can go Smashville some trophy.
Probably.
Smashville some beers.
Smashville some beers.
Or maybe you just get Smashville the beers and then just. But of course, Matt, if you're an Oiler fan, maybe you should just throw an Oiler jersey over the statue while you're at it. Just for the fun of it. So that was a great haul. But again, just seeing the players they're going with, obviously, though, in this case, Tanner, they're just they're wanting to build on their D. I think that this one was a bit of a stretch for me. Like I said, I think this one's been picked 15 to 20 people too high. But at this stage, they're going where they're going, right? Okay, so Zill has a question. Who's the first to grab a goalie?
I think
Who's
he goes
the first to grab a goalie?
I think he goes in the second round unless for some reason, let's say Vegas, because they need goalies. I don't know.
Well, especially if they're gonna be trading Logan Thompson very quick here. He's on the market, very cheap. They should be able to get something really good for Logan Thompson because he's also on the cheap, right? So that should be a really good haul.
Yeah, this has been very interesting.
I think it's because you mean today at the draft?
I'm surprised
is that
Vegas
what you're
has a pick. But on the bright side, people were booing Bettman, so all is well with the world again.
Yeah. It wasn't there a place somewhere he was at and they didn't boo him? Was that the Stanley Cup in Vegas?
Stanley Cup.
Yeah. The only one that didn't boo him, right?
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah. Well, come on.
Right, so.
Now, by the way, that was so highly exaggerated. People trying to say there's no fans in Vegas, just because, and then to say, oh well, no, that's just all tourists. Guys, grow up. Just because you're jealous that the Vegas Golden Knights won the Stanley Cup, don't be so jealous. And hey, I would like to say this: congratulations to the Golden Knights, not only in winning the cup, but to you guys as fans for not destroying the city. I'm so sick of sports teams destroying a city when you guys win. Well, no, they're not going to destroy it.
Well. They covered it up. Bill Foley.
Every time someone says Bill Foley, all I think about is WWE wrestling Mick Foley. And I think Did Mick Foley
So-
buy the Vegas Golden Knights?
Evan, you used to
Okay.
follow the Flames
Yeah,
fan,
knowledge
and we know we
good.
have some Flames fan joining in on the show sometimes. What are your thoughts on the Flames picking 16th Samuel Honzek?
Yeah, this must be a player that Craig Conroy's scouts have been searching for. I don't know what it is. I used to blame Burke when he went for, Jankowski, and when they decided to pass on a good defenseman, like Oily Mata and stuff like they seem to always do something weird. Anything outside of a top 10. So I think this was a stretch. I have no idea why they went there. And this is
The
where
left
you're
winger,
just
6'3", 190, 191 pounds.
Yeah.
He's got some size.
so is that it? Are they just building size? So anyway, let's go back to the draft floor.
All right,
On
St.
the
Louis.
board. Obviously, forwards, the center position. Again, the depth of this draft really coming to the fore today. That's why we haven't seen the type of movement we expected.
All right, well,
By the way, I do want to say I think a goalie will go in the first round still yet.
Oh, sure, you
St.
let
Louis also
yourself-
the 29th pick, courtesy of the Tarasenko trade. So
Okay, quickly say it. Oh,
Please
too
to
late.
select Otto Stenberg, Orlando, Sweden.
Stenberg. Was
A
that
lot of
Stenberg?
centers this draft.
all right, at 10, they took Valley Divorcia forward, and here at 25, they take another.
Yeah, they went. Now, who was that they just said? You guys catch
Otto
that?
Stenberg.
Uh,
St. Louis, remember, has 3 first-round picks this year.
yeah, but make use of them. Why don't you? Yeah, I got him in the third
Wow,
round.
they're drafting people.
Yeah, well, obviously they're not helping us out. All
They
the
They
draft
brought in,
geeks.
what's it called? They brought in Kevin Hayes. I know that was a big thing to have another center, and I guess Torrey Krug botched the trade to Philly, which is his right. I know people are upset. I saw people online on Twitter getting upset at Torrey Krug, but it is what it is. All right, what do we got next?
It is.
We've got the Red Wings.
So who's up? The Red Wings? Oh yeah. Okay. So
I trust the Eisenman plan. There's not much more to say.
I was just gonna go say something, and as soon as you said that, so just so you know, the Hockey News had him rated at 14, and he dropped to 17. So this isn't a stretch for Yzerman on taking Pelinka. I think this is what I've heard is he's really good lateral movement, and he's really good on the edges on his skates. Think of a Ryan Ellis-esque kind of a player that, again, is another Swedish. Like, they absolutely love their Swedish players, don't they? I mean,
They really do.
So, but anyway, yeah, I'm still shocked at this Stenberg one. It's just like, what are you doing, guys? Absolutely. So, and I'm sure. So Zylstra, you're asking, are 2 guys going into overtime today? I'm planning. We never talked about it, but I was planning on just to finish off the first round, and then we can call it a show at that time.
Sure. Well, because we already
okay.
talked about some of these guys that have been picked.
Yeah, it pissed me off that they made that potential trade public without asking. Oh yeah, Krug. Yeah. What's your thoughts on that? She brings up a good point. The whole.
Well, but did it become public because it didn't go through, and then enough people, insiders, kind of shared what was going on? What was the snag? Like, reporters
Okay.
try to jump on the chance to share like the trade immediately, so they can be the first scoop or ones to share the scoop. Torrey Krug has that no movement clause in place or no trade clause in place for certain teams. That's his right. That's what it's in place for. Again, as I was saying, fans can get upset all they want, but that's his prerogative. He wanted to start a life, and players want that security and stability. He wants to stay. Now, does he want to stick around long term? Because I know there's been some rumblings about going through Philly to go somewhere else to one of the teams, as Danny Briere has talked. Which, let's talk about how Danny Briere has really been pushing the envelope for trading and really been aggressive for the Philadelphia Flyers. But clearly, Torrey Krug is not in the plans after signing that big extension with the Blues, who I thought was going to stay with the Boston Bruins, but it is what it is. And there's the beautiful Jeff Merrick.
So let me just say, I have a different opinion on Briere. I think the Flyers are making noise. They're trying to stay in the public eye. So anyone that's a Flyer fan, I think that and I've been spending a lot of time flying. I've been following the Flyers probably more than I have in the last 10 years just over this season because it's been an interesting off season on top of stuff. There's even more things happening behind the scenes that some stuff can't be shared yet. Are they going back to the San Jose stepping up now? I think they might be stepping up in just a moment here. If they are, I'll come off.
Pick is in.
Okay, I'll go to it in just a second here once they walk up there.
But chat, yeah.
Yeah. So this is what I think is happening. I think Briere, number one, I think we talked about this. He's like a kid in a candy store. He's loving being on the phone. It's like he's playing the EA Sports NHL 2023 already. By the way, can I just say the new NHL game, all the athletes that they put on here for the prospects this year, they put them up on the screen early on tonight on TV on the Sportsnet. That looks fabulous already. They got some of those guys up there. Excellent work. Anyway, one of the things that I think has happened is Briere's just been open. He hasn't put a tight lip. And he's been very open to discussions. And I think that they didn't stop a new GM. Think about the message getting out. And it came out of Philadelphia. It didn't come out of St. Louis. It was coming out of Philadelphia. And a lot got out there. And so that's what's changed things. But now I know Zill says, why did St. Louis even entertain it without asking him? Well, it's because you don't go talk to someone and move on. They thought it was quiet, I'm sure, and it wasn't quiet, and it got taken out of hand. They needed to talk to him, and unfortunately, in today's world, everything travels super, super fast. So I think that's what's happened. I don't know. Do you have any other take on that?
No, I completely agree. As much as I hate agreeing with you.
Okay, let's go.
Just see how we are as a person. And
With the 26th pick, the Sharks are proud to select from the Sudbury Wolves, Quentin Musty.
Interesting.
All right, so Quentin Musty.
We know that,
wow.
Very familiar to a lot of build up their cupboards because they're lacking a lot of players. It's one of the reasons why they traded Timo Meier and wanted a lot of prospects and picks for it, right? So they have to. They're rebuilding, right? And Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm still shocked on Crystal not being gone yet. Like, is he going to drop? Is he that guy that's going to drop? And like right now, like, could you imagine a guy like Crystal ending up now in Carolina or Vegas or with Colorado?
Yeah,
high skill.
Toronto, isn't that pick given up by Boston? Okay.
No.
Oh yeah.
No. So yeah, we got the Avalanche, we got Toronto, we got St. Louis.
Yeah,
Hurricanes.
So Toronto traded their pick to Washington, but then got it back from Boston.
Yeah,
or got another one from Boston. So that's how it went because they ended up getting it back. Let's talk about last year where a lot of people were highly touting Brad Lambert and how well he was going to play and how he was supposed to go higher, and he ended up going to Winnipeg, and I think it was 32nd or 31st.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
He's been phenomenal for them thus far. But again, there's a lot of factors that go into it. Now, may I add that some of the questions that have been asked at the Columbine and some of the interviews with players are very silly. Like, I know some players have been interviewed about asking about who would they save if they were in a battlefield in World War II. What the heck does that have to do with hockey? Like, the silliest questions ever in the world, right? So, they make up these weird random things. I understand leadership. I understand your interests, passions beyond hockey. But World War II, like you're fighting World War II, come on. These are 18-year-old kids. Get out of here.
Well, why are you even talking about war? This isn't very sensitive to a time there is war even.
Right.
Right, but it's interesting because agents will tell you that they'll get all these random questions. Players will tell you stuff. They think it's funny. Makes no difference. People will tell you that really you can hurt yourself in those interviews, but you can't really improve yourself. And I'd like to say this. I am so sick and tired of a mixed message going out there when people saying their draft rankings are not determined. Oh, Toronto is on the phones. Guys, Toronto is on the phones. Can I repeat? Toronto
So
is
wait,
on
is Tree
the
Living
phone.
back at the bench? Is he allowed back on, or was he kicked out? I thought he was gone. I thought he wasn't allowed on the what's it called, on the floor.
No, after Calgary drafted their first round, he was allowed, right?
Oh, okay.
That was my understanding, unless I misheard that. So interesting enough, tonight we heard it. They say it doesn't change. Let me use Jesse Puljujarvi. The reason they were so high, the reason the world was so high was his World Junior Tournament. You look at it outside in the Liga, he wasn't outstanding. It was that tournament. It set him through. When you've seen Canadian players have an incredible world tournament, they are looked at, but they tell you has nothing to do with that tournament. Now, I think it was Bill Guerin earlier. No, it wasn't Bill Guerin. It was Dougie Risebrough, I think. Was it right? Or Doug Armstrong was saying they saw how he played in the World Juniors, or maybe it was Arizona. I can't even remember now, man. If you guys know, then let me know. But all they said is the player played in the World Juniors. They saw how strong he played, and they knew they had to get him.
Yeah, okay.
It was the World Juniors. I thought we're not determining a person's future and ranking them 15,
Some
20
do,
people
some
up
don't.
because of that.
It honestly depends. Some do, some don't. Right?
Yeah, but everyone says that that's not true. But yet,
Everlay had a
that
great
later
juniors,
it comes out.
like, he was unreal, and then
Yeah,
he's
he
been a
didn't go.
solid
He didn't
fit.
go early, but he didn't
No,
go
he didn't go
early
early.
because of it, though. He was considered clutch because of it. Which, let's face it, he's had an incredible career.
It's a
Right?
solid
Incredible
career.
career.
I got some
You
news
know.
for you. I got some news. You want to hear breaking
Okay.
news? Jim
Okay.
Neal has been named the general manager of the year
Jim Neal,
of the Dallas Stars.
the general manager of the year.
They announced it
What
at
world? What world is he in? That is like, I guess
but
I'm
it's
just like thinking that
decided by
sounds really.
his fellow GMs. So
Yeah, well, I guess they must have thought he did a great job with what was going on, right?
I'm going to say Rod Francis was
man.
stumped.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But you know what? Why wouldn't GM of the year be someone like, why wouldn't you pick a different team for what the work's been done? Like, I would think about the work that Ken Holland has done. I would think about the work that they've done in Boston. Ron Francis.
Tom Fitzgerald in Detroit or in New Jersey.
Detroit, in New Jersey. Yeah, exactly. It's been crazy, right? So why would you not consider that? So let's go back to the draft floor.
Good news for them as we'll be picking
Avalanche.
31st overall. They got that from Montreal recently with this Alex Newhook going to the Montreal Canadiens. So let's see what's brewing here. It's going to be a changing of the guard a little bit in Colorado, guys. 8 UFAs, 3 RFAs. So you're going to look very different than that championship team from a year ago. Let's hear what they have to do. Again, their first pick here with Chris McFarland, Joe Sakic, and the game.
Colorado Avalanche are proud to select from Oshawa, Callum Ritchie.
Oh, there you go, Richie. I was
I like
expecting
to
him
the
to go
point.
a lot earlier.
There
Nope.
it is.
Yeah,
This is a nice
right to the
story.
point.
This is a tough kid. He played with a torn labrum basically the entire year.
I got to be
The
honest. I got to
Oshawa
read up
Generals.
on these guys. I'm lost.
Yeah, no, I'm
He's the right
good
hand
on a
and
few of
center.
them. So Callum,
Colorado's looking to
Callum
redo
Ritchie,
to win again next year.
he was ranked anywhere between 20 and about 29 in most drafts.
Yeah,
So
that's fair.
it's just kind of the right spot that he's
Might
kind
be
of
a pick-
landed.
might
But
be a
if you'll
pick that
notice,
moved at the trade deadline next season.
I'm telling you now. To me, actually, Callum Ritchie was one of my dark horses. That if he was picked earlier, he could come out of this really well. I think this is a really good move for Avalanche. I think you're getting a big center already. I mean, he can put on a little bit more muscle. He's going to have to do and stuff. But by them, and they're bringing centers in, which is going to line him up for like in another couple of years, right? Another year, 2 years a junior, probably 1 year in the American. He's ready in 3 years. It's a great development for their system to be able to bring him in. So, Zill says, I think Neil got Nil, not Neil. I know you meant got GM because of building his cupboards the last few years.
Well,
That's
the
true.
fact that he stole Jake Ottinger, Jason Robertson, and Mira Heiskanen. was it? That draft, he got all 3 of them in the 2019 draft. Like, that was a great deal, and he's done well for that team. Granted, though, that Jamie Benn and Tyler Seguin's contract does not look good, but
oh man, that's just absolutely crazy working with that. So, all right, I'm noticing that we're hitting 8:11. I don't know if I'm going to be able to stick around. I gotta really go let the water out, if you know what I mean. So why don't we do kind of a last thought? I'll leave the draft running in case there's one more that comes up for you guys before we run. So first of all, Pavel, are you going to be able to do on the free agent frenzy day? Are we going to be able to set a time that evening?
Yes.
You will be able to do it? Okay. Yes. So that means that's going to be on Saturday evening.
Saturday. Sure.
Saturday. Yeah. Do we want to change the time? This Saturday. Yeah. Do we want to change the time? So guys, we're going to announce. Okay, so just before we make this official, though, because I haven't run this by my other half of my partnership.
Canada Day,
I have a team. Yeah, I know. So I got to double check stuff. We got to run it by our partners on the other side of the team.
We'll figure it out later
to find out our time. So, guys, pay attention to our social media on our Twitter, both at hockey_2 and at Revenev, and also follow on our Facebook to be able to see. And then also you will see it will be decided probably. I'm going to have to make this decided probably by the end of tonight because we got to put it stream on so you guys can see it on our Facebook page. So why don't we just break down a few things? So here tonight, guys, Connor Bedard is a Chicago Blackhawk. The Blackhawk has landed. Mishkov is now a Broad Street bully of all places. Crazy enough. And it was a crazy night. Everything was all over, but so far no trades. There's only a few left to actually go in the night. So what I'd like to do, though, is to able to get you guys and bring you back to attention because every Wednesday night we normally meet, but this is our last Wednesday show of the year, episode 41, season 4. We have episode 42, Canada Day, here in Canada, for us in Canada. But July 1st, I believe the States, what do we call it? Memorial Day? Or, no, you guys celebrate 4th of July. Sorry, 4th. You have nothing. Yeah, you guys got the 4th. We get the 1st. We're first. It comes up. So, well, you know what? Let's go to our last announcement here on the floor.
And get into a seat and get comfortable. Now the opportunity to get something done here for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I thought this might be a trade back scenario. Obviously, that's not going to be the case here. They have someone in mind, someone they've identified. Let's see who it is.
All right, again, this was part of the Washington trade for Rasmus Sandin. So the Leafs about to take to the clock. They don't have a second, a third, or a fourth-round pick. So how much pressure, Chuck, does that put on a team when it's like all our eggs are in one draft basket here?
Yeah, it definitely puts pressure. But the other thing, you don't have a lot of picks. At least you have your first, and you're hoping you can draft a really quality guy to put it in the system. And they've traded some picks in the last couple of years. This is a big pick for them.
Yeah, so here we go. The Toronto Maple Leafs on the board. Congratulate Living and the rest of the management group. Maple Leafs Sport and Entertainment ready to make the Leafs selection at number 28. Let's take a look and a listen.
They pick a goalie.
Come on, step up, guys. We want Toronto to step it up.
Just wanted to thank the city of Nashville for some great hospitality. Thank Billy Garrett for the open bar bill at Tootsie's all week. And we'd like to congratulate and thank David Poyle. He's been a mentor to many of us, and congratulations on a great career. To make our selection, I'll call up our head scout, Wes Clark.
Toronto selects from the London Knights, Easton Cowan.
Wow. Easton Cowan.
Easton Cowan is the latest member of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
I'm just doing a quick...
look where he's sitting, guys. That tells you everything you need to know. You'd have to search around to find this guy because it's unexpected that he goes here. But a deep dive will tell you that this guy is a gritty, tenacious player. His playoffs, I think, really sealed the deal for him. 21 points in 20
games. Well, I'm going to move it off of there. You know what? That's crazy. He is not even ranked in the top 85 so far that I can find in the hockey news. So interesting piece. So it's been a wild ride. It's been a great season. We do have one last show. Again, it's going to be a special Saturday show for season 4 finale, episode 42. Just Pavel and I going at it, talking about the trades that have happened, what's good, what's not. You know, we're going to duke it out for supremacy. We might talk about a couple things that have happened between now and then. So we only got a few days. But make sure you guys all throughout the off season go to our website. We have our great sponsors over at JR Web Designs who have designed a web. If you need a web site, guy, no matter what it is, go through JR Web Designs. Give them a call. Connect with them. They have built our site. They'll give you an incredibly good deal. It'll blow your socks off. Now, if you go to our site, you can follow our last broadcast that we have set. It'll be for this Saturday. Plus, go to our blog. In our blog, we have some new writers. If you are interested in the KHL, Patrick, I don't know if you're watching or listening tonight or if you're hearing this in a post. Patrick Conway has been a former guest of ours, knows and follows everything post-Soviet hockey. Man, you're making me dizzy there, dude. I'm going back and forth on your whatever you're doing. But Patrick has his first article draft almost completed there. He's going to be talking about the KHL. So stuff you never would get, you're going to get right here at You Guys in Hockey Talk, as well as Tanner. We're looking at Tanner Wilson. He does scouting for Texas hockey, all the young bantams around that. You got Pavel going on throughout the summer. I will be giving you a whole bunch of different articles as well. And we have also Carmen. He is a tweeter that loves tweeting out and riling people up. So let's see if he riles you up in his articles. So Carmen, if you're out there, you're supposed to get your first one in tomorrow. Let's get her done, buddy. We just mentioned it on our show, giving you a push. If you don't get the hits, it's because you didn't jump on tomorrow. As well as we have a couple other writers going to be coming on real soon. So, guys, make sure you follow. Go to all our former guests. Man, they have made this an incredible season. So I'll mention a little bit more. But I want you to go out with one last thought here also before we wrap, man.
That Rev's top 15 guys were actually mine in disguise.
So I like to mention, I got 10 of the 15 this year in my top 15 OIC all career, and 10 of them were in there. Last year, I was 14 of 15 that actually were drafted, so not quite as good as last year. Definitely a lot worse, but they went off the rails this year, man.
Those are rookie numbers. You got to pump those numbers up, as Matthew McConaughey said in Wolf of Wall Street.
Awesome. Okay, any last thoughts before we go?
Been fun. It's been a great ride. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you on Saturday. It's been a treat. Evan, final thoughts?
Yeah, no, not too much, man. Just it's time to say goodbye. Once again, it's been another ring-a-ding-dong-dandy, guys. We love you. I'm looking forward to one last show with you, Pavel, as we rock this thing. Hey, guys, have a great one. In the meantime and in between time.
Keep your sticks on the ice. Stay safe.
Cheers.
I'm just so sick and tired. I'm hanging on a wire, a foot over the fire, and it's burning. I can feel it inside. Done with the same cliche, done with the day after day. There's got to be a way. Now is the time to break the tide. I'll live, I'll die for what is right.